You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's Oh Behave with Arden Moore, the show that teaches you how to have harmony in the household with your pets. Join Arden as she travels coast to coast to help millions better understand why cats and dogs do what they do. Get the latest scoop on famous faces, their perfectly pampered pets, and who's walking who in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails. Garner great pet tips and have a doggone fur-flying fun time. So get ready for the pause and applause as we unleash your Oh Behave host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. The legendary Dr. Doolittle could talk to the animals. That's nice. But our special guest today speaks for the animals and unleashes a bit of attitude and some biting humor. I want every one of you to give pause and applause to comedian, blogger, and author Jeremy Greenberg. Welcome to the show, Jeremy.
Thank you, Arden. Pleasure to be here. And I just want to say on behalf of the millions of dogs, I try to speak for Woof.
You had me at woof.
Yes.
All right. Well, Jeremy, speaking of woof, is the author of 2 pet books with titles you will never forget. The first one, for the dog lovers, is aptly entitled, Sorry, I Pooped in Your Shoe, and Other Heartwarming Letters from Doggy. Now, mark your calendars, all you cool cats, because his next book debuts right around Mother's Day and is going to be called Sorry, I Barfed in Your Bed, and Other Heartwarming Letters from Kitty. Nice titles there, Jeremy.
Thank you. Well, the publisher likes titles that really grab folks, and I love the mischievous nature of animals, that they're so playful. I've got young kids, I've got 4-year-olds, and there's really not that much difference between some breeds of dogs and cats and how they behave with their attitudes, and we just wanted to capture that fun, and people have really responded to it. It's been cool.
Well, I think with the poop and puke covered, I think we're good. So everybody, listeners, I want you to kick off your shoes, you don't know what's in them, and get out of bed. It's time to discover the perks and pitfalls of life with pets from the guy who really knows, Jeremy Greenberg. And everybody, I want you to first, though, sit and stay. We're going to be right back after we take this commercial break.
Time for a pause. 4 furry ones, actually. Sit and stay. Oh Behave will be right back.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. CATTREETRAY.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Oh Behave is back with more tail-wagging ways to achieve harmony in the household with your pets. Now back to your fetching host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Our special guest today has a lot to say. Many of you may have caught his comedy act on stage or television. You probably have followed his take on life as the father of young twin boys. He's got a blog called Your Guide to Imperfect Parenting. It's on MSN's The Family Room. And now he's creating a pack of pet pals with his dog book and soon to be unleashed his cat book. You've been quite a busy guy there, Jeremy.
Yes, well, I love animals. I remember there was a period in my young life where my only friend was my cat. The only one who would talk to me. I don't mean to say that to elicit any sort of sympathy. I just mean that, I grew up, like a lot of comedians, I grew up in a very loving but crazy household. And it's an interesting situation if your cat is the most normal one around. And
where did you grow up, Jeremy?
In the Bay Area, a city called San Ramon, California. I live in San Diego now, but I grew up there. It was a very nice area. The interesting thing was, and we'll get back to the pets, is my parents are both from this dungeon part of Brooklyn, New York, just an insane place. Then they moved out to the West Coast where the most dangerous thing is a lizard biting you in a part of an undeveloped suburb. It was very not inner city Brooklyn. And it sort of blew my parents' mind. And I remember them not letting me go out to play after dinner. They were afraid I was going to get shot. And I tell you, I was not in an area where that was going to happen. Certainly not when I was a kid. And so there was a little bit of conflict. And my parents and I get along very well now. But my cat got me. It would hang out with me. I would give it some food. Best moment, my grandmother, old school immigrant, came over from Europe, would make her chicken soup. And one time my Siamese cat, Percy, jumped up on the stove, which was like a second paw in her soup to fish out pieces of chicken. I could have said something, Arden, but I didn't. Yeah. My cat and I were, we had a bond. And
who needs a spoon when you got a paw like Percy, right?
Exactly. And I thought it was hilarious. That I would have still had the soup. It didn't bother me at all. So I had some very fond memories of animals growing up. And unfortunately, I didn't have a dog until I met my wife, and I adopted a dog and then became a big-time dog lover. But I've always had, I've always loved animals. I've always loved just how they interact with you. And there's debate about whether pets have emotions. I'm not a scientist, but I believe they do. I really think that they know how to connect and on a very deep level. And it's sort of a very special relationship. I mean, a lot of people probably say it, but they're not humans, but they're in some ways so human. And I want to make fun of them because they're mischievous little animals. They make me laugh.
Speaking of that, the 2 books you have out, you have other books too. Being a parent and things like that. But Sorry I Pooped in Your Shoe. I don't know. That would sure get me better than the Encyclopedia of All Things Dog. I don't know. Which one would you pick up at the bookstore? I
love the idea of taking the attitude of animals, trying to explain what they like or don't like. Like in the book, there's a letter about dog nicknames. Where there's a dog named Mr. Peanut who was quite offended that his owners, I don't even like the word owners, his pack members called him, Mr. Popcorn and Peanut and all these other nicknames. And we did, because I had a dog named Dagny, and we used to call her Dingle Dog, and we had songs, Dagny Dingle Doggy, like Yankee Doodle Dandy. And we just come up with these names, and they take it. They take it. Can you imagine constantly doing that to another human being? It would be like that old Saturday Night Live skit where making copies. I'm not sure if you recall that old bit that they would do where they would constantly, make fun of someone's name. But to do that to another human being, you'd be like, what are you doing? That's annoying and somewhat disrespectful. But to dogs, we just have these great nicknames, Mr. Barks a lot. And so I wanted to sort of capture what a dog might say about that. Or even if a dog was giving, love advice or like, hey, if you really want to attract somebody, what you got to do is you got to roll in the festering remains of a dead squirrel. That's really what drives people wild. They'll love it. And so I wanted to sort of capture this view of how dogs view the world and how they interact with our lives, because we look at these behaviors and they can be so frustrating. Why are you rolling in that? And then the dog, well, why wouldn't I roll in it? I've got a hot date tonight.
That's right. That's my canine cologne, right?
That's right. Yep.
Well, the nice thing is, folks, his book, Sorry I Pooped in Your Shoe, it is out by McMeel Publishing. You're going to give away not 1, not 2, but maybe 3 autographed copies of this book. Is that right, Jeremy?
Be happy to do it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have to kind of come up with a way. So listeners, you know the drill. You got to email me, Arden at fourleggedlife.com. That's Arden at fourleggedlife.com. We got to do the code word pooped in your shoe. I think that would be a good one to put on a subject email.
If I could add also, Arden, that the books, despite their title names, they're very PG. There's something you could have in a veterinarian's office. There's no foul language, nothing that is going to blow anyone's mind in those books. It's very funny, but it's done on a level that's very appropriate. And I say that because my nightclub act and some of my other work, it ranges from PG on up, but I like to let folks know who've seen my other work that the dog books in particular are, and cat book is PG.
I did see a video clip of you. You were in Seattle promoting the book, and you were talking about Mr. Peanut, who looked like a chihuahua with a frown, a grumpy chihuahua, which I thought was funny. And, you were going through the whole rundown of nicknames. I think there's some nicknames that dogs really like because they're terms of endearment. We might say it in a nice way. Like I have a dog named Chipper, and I call her Chipalicious. But, I wouldn't call her Wood Chip or something, but if I think it's how we say it. Don't you think they kind of read our tone?
Dogs are so in tune. It really is amazing. But yeah, they read our tone. I also was having some fun with it. I think dogs, at least the dogs I've had love any attention. Dagny, called Dingle Dog, like I mentioned, or Dougal, any D with a G sound coming a little bit afterwards. The other thing I love about animals is how they tune in. There's a letter about an animal who's very upset that their owner said the word park, but they're not going to the park.
Oh.
That comes from a real experience. I'm not sure if you recall, there was a movie came out maybe 5 or 6 years ago called Gosford Park.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Before my wife and I kids were looking, what do you want to go do? Let's go see this movie, Gosford Park. All right, well, let's go. Gosford Park. We're talking about it. For some reason, we're not really our dog. We had a dog named Lewis. This was before Dagny. Lewis is going crazy. Lewis is shooting up and down the halls, fired up, excited. Like, what's going on with Lewis? We realized we were saying park about 30 times. Gosford Park, and all the dogs go to the park. I go to the park. We're going to the park. And so it really made me realize, they tune into all these things. I'm not sure if you've seen that viral YouTube video that's hilarious about the dog. I think it's called a talking dog. It's out of Canada, and I had some maple bacon, and they have the dog talk. Yeah, and then what'd you do? And
with the cat too. Yeah. Oh, what do you mean?
And you watch the ears, and the dog they know these little words that mean yummy things. They know steak, and they know, we love dogs who have steak, I guess, but and they know these little key words that mean so much to their lives. And so I wanted to play on that because it's happened in our lives. And, it was just a lot of fun to really dig in. And people don't always get that, even with these humor books. I do research. I really don't just take it as my experience, but I talk to a lot of dog owners, and I talk to veterinarians, and I really think, what's the behavior behind this, just so I understand it.
Well, I know you talked about a little schnauzer from Madison, Wisconsin, who would like to steal bacon. Is that right?
Yes.
Is that in the book? Okay.
Oh, yeah. I've just finished it. I'm trying to remember that exact letter. But yes, there's a lot of that where they want to play steal the bacon, or there's when the human comes back in the room, I was just making sure your food wasn't too hot for you.
Of course.
Dogs are very accommodating like that. There's a dog sitting on a pile of leaves where, you just rake these leaves into a nice bed for me. I appreciate that. Or a dog explaining why it loves to shake water near you and things like of that. So really, dogs are just obviously a lot of fun when you look at what the internet is dogs and cats and things we probably shouldn't talk about. It's like the main categories. And I really just wanted to have fun looking. People responded to it. Made a few bestsellers lists. It was really a fun thing to write. And, people have enjoyed it. And I've been happy about that.
And at the beginning, you touched upon something I think is so revealing. You're a parent of a pair of young twin boys, and I have found that there's so many parallels to training dogs and cats as it is with young kids. And I was laughing when you shared on your blog on MSN. The blog is part of the Family Room. Your blog is called Your Guide to Imperfect Parenting. About the time you shared a photo of some of your cats with your boys, and then you all went to the San Diego Wild Animal Park. You want to tee up what happened?
I write so many blogs. I apologize. Please remind me.
Okay, this is all right. I'll set you up. I'll help you out, man.
Yeah.
You saw a picture of a Siamese cat that was French kissing the arm of a park bench. And then you took your kid to the zoo. And you never know what's going to land like pasta on a wall with your children, right?
Oh, yeah. No, that's the picture of Bubba. Thank you so much. And I apologize for not remembering. Yes, that is I was working on the cat book, and it's a little bit of a sneak preview. There's this adorable Siamese named Bubba who is French kissing a piece of metal, wrought iron metal on a bench because it's cold, and the cats love that sensation. And my kids think it's hilarious. Just to back up a little bit, when I travel a lot for stand-up, so when I'm home, when my kids come to my office, I never throw them out. I let them come in. I say, well, why don't you help me write? So I'll pull up a picture that I'm working on for the cat book. I'm writing a letter for the picture. And I'll say, what do you think about this cat? And then my kids will say, the cat is smiling or whatever. They're 4. They haven't said any pearls of wisdom yet, but they're working hard. Anyway, they see this picture, and we go to the zoo, and all of a sudden, one of my sons just starts licking, like, puts his tongue on a metal bench at the zoo. And I'm like, oh, God, that's gross. He goes, what are you doing? He goes, I'm a cat. Oh, no. Yeah. Yes.
You know what? Kids will do what they're going to do. Now, I read another blog that you wanted to be a cat when you were younger, or what was the deal? You had a fantasy of wanting to be a cat?
Yes, I would pretend
to be a cat.
I would pretend to be a cat. I would go in the back room and meow.
Your parents are probably so proud of you.
It was an interesting household, and frankly, when I was a kid, all I was doing was meowing. They were probably pretty happy in terms of the other kinds of trouble I could cause. But yes, I remember really liking the way my cat lived and following it around on all fours. I think a lot of kids do that. A lot of kids say, hey, I'm going to be the dog. As a matter of fact, there's a letter in my kids' book, which, just stay with the theme of bodily functions, called Sorry, I Peed on You, which is the one about young kids, where a kid's pretending to be a dog, and he tells his mommy, I'm going to bark and all this. And the only way you'll ever get me to talk in human talk again is if there's a bowl of ice cream. That would probably pull me out of it. But yes, I really just connected with the animals. I loved their happiness, and they were soft and friendly, and they didn't tell you to clean your room. The thing about animals is they're always on your side. And,
absolutely. Well, we're speaking with comedian and author and blogger Jeremy Greenberg. He has the book that you got to get. It's called Sorry I Pooped in Your Shoe. And for all you cat lovers, stay tuned, because around Mother's Day, he's coming out with Sorry I Barfed in Your Bed. But we're going to talk to him more about life as the father of 2 4-year-old twin boys, an ardent animal lover, and more. But we got to pay for the show. So everybody sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a walk on the red carpet, of course. All Behave will be back in a flash right after these messages.
Hi, I'm Dana Humphrey, the founder of Whitegate PR. We have been specializing in PR and marketing in the pet industry for over 10 years. If you have a pet product or service you would like to promote, give us a call. We can help create awareness for your brand on TV, radio, magazines, newspapers, and blogs. Feel free to reach me directly at 619-414-9307 or learn more on our website at whitegatepr.com or follow us on Facebook.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, this is Amy Schumer. You're listening to Arden Moore on Pet Life Radio, where they keep it real and make everyone feel like they're pets.
We're back from the lot. Just checked the paper and we had a record showing at the box. The letterbox, that is. Now back to Oh Behave. Here's Arden.
Welcome back to the O Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. I'm delighted we have Jeremy Greenberg in the house. I caught some of your video clips on YouTube. You do a lot of, it isn't easy writing comedy, and you do it for not only yourself, but I understand you also help provide some jokes as a writer for other comedians like Byron Allen, and also need a little bit about the jokester in you. How did this all cultivate?
Well, I don't know how I was funny, but I remember being told I was funny ever since I was a kid. And I loved to write and I loved to read. And it's like any discipline. I just kept writing, and pretty soon people wanted to buy what I wrote. It was just sort of this natural path. And I love it. A lot of my humor comes from my life, just interacting with my family. And a lot of it's kids these days, because I've got twin sons, and that takes over your life. You're done. Once you have twins, it's...
Well, I read somewhere you call yourself the whatever father. What's that mean?
Oh, well, no. One of the things that I try to provide a quote-unquote strong male role model, but I don't know what that is. And really, all they see is my wife telling me that I've incorrectly loaded the dishwasher. And so I just go, whatever, because I grew up in a household where just everything, is that fine china? Put it in the dishwasher. My parents didn't really consider protecting the quality of things like that. I'm a first-generation American. My mom was born in Austria. So there was a lot of newness to that. And so my wife's family, though, goes back several generations in the United States. So there was these rules and protocol, how to, as a guy, I don't care about those things. I choose my battles. At least I do. And so whatever, I'll do the dishes. And so, I try to show my sons that I'm the strong, I don't want to say a leader, but at the end of the day, I don't know how to do half the things in my house. So I still have to try to maintain my sense of self-esteem and confidence, even as I go, you know what? Fine, you do it. I don't care. You can put in the forks in the spatula, whatever direction you want. It's not going to make a difference to me.
Well, how has the book gone? The Sorry I Pooped in Your Shoe, and how I know you've got a website. It's very easy, listeners. It's jeremygreenberg.com, JeremyGreenberg.com, because I want to make people make this a zillion seller for you, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, it's actually done very well. People have really enjoyed it. What's fun is a lot of times people will send me pictures of their dogs reading the book. Like if they have a breed, like there's a pug on the cover, and someone sent me a picture of of a pug reading the book.
Oh, that's nice.
Open. Yeah, and a collie, there's a picture. So people have been doing that, and people really enjoyed the book. The one thing I'll say is I really worked hard to give it an original voice. There's so much dog humor out there. I mean, there's the I can't have cheeseburger and I can't have hot dog and all the lolcats. There's so much of that. And I really tried to dig into the dog psychology and find very original, interesting ways that are still, spot on with the humor. And people have responded to that. It's one of the reasons why I was able to win the cat book as well.
Well, I look forward to that. I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. I call them my furry Fab 4. And we live in San Diego, and I have a little and a big dog, and they're the surfers. They're part of the SoCal Surf Dogs. So I'm from the Midwest, and oh my God, I can't believe I have 2 10-year-old dogs that are hanging 20. So you got to come
awesome.
out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we take our kids to the beach. As you know, I also live in San Diego. My sons are just now starting to boogie board. They'll be surfing soon, I'm sure. So yeah. I love those surfing dogs. I show my kids videos of the surfing and the skateboarding. I think it's a bulldog. Bulldog. No, you ever seen?
Oh, there's 2 big ones. There's Dozer and there's, the other one name escapes me, but they're both very, very famous. And if I'm a bulldog, I'm perfect for a board because I'm low to the ground. The waves don't knock me off. My little Cleo's a 12-pound mystery mutt, and she gets blown off. We had to put weights on her board. Oh, and my producer's so cool. He just texted me. It's Tillman and Dozer are the big bulldogs.
I love those. I love those surfing and skateboarding bulldogs. That's just the neat thing about animals is how they come into our lives like that and they seem to have fun. You ever watch those? They're actually really shredding. They're really having a good time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We did the whole thing. We had 17 dogs on the board to get in the Guinness Book of World Records. So little Cleo is one of the 17 dogs on that board. Scott, did it. Scott Chandler is a very famous surfer. He created a 15-foot foam board and had everything on there from Nani, a Bernese Mountain Dog, to little itty-bitty Cleo. And we practiced, and honest to gosh, they were all lined up, little dogs up front, big dogs in the back, and I think they just sensed that this was something special. There was not a single snark in the whole pack. Nobody was like, I need to be over here, I need to be over here. And the hilarious thing is there was a Jack Russell at the helm that had a video camera on his back end of his jacket, so we were calling it the butt cam.
Yep. That is awesome. That is, I can only imagine a Bernese Mountain Dog on a surfboard, too. That must be a great, great picture. I'm going to look for that.
We did it in, this one was on June 16th. It was at Imperial Beach, but the next surf event is going to be to benefit the Helen Woodward Animal Center, and it's going to be at the Del Mar Beach. So everybody that's in listening shot of that area, I hope you go because it's amazing. These dogs are raising money for charity, and if you and your kids are there with your wife, come over and say hi because Cleo she hasn't met a stranger, so.
Yeah, we'll do. I love friendly dogs like that, and we take our kids a lot of times to La Jolla Shores, too.
Okay.
There's not really any dog surfing there, but yeah, the Del Mar Beach, that sounds like an awesome event. And my kids, as I mentioned, and it's tough to admit this, but we had to rehome our dog very recently, and they missed their dog. I know I miss my dog, and just for your listeners to know, I travel so much with Stand-Up and with our young sons. We always said if we could find an opportunity to give Dagny slightly better life, we would do it. And as I mentioned, no one should feel bad. She lives on a horse ranch now in Rancho Santa Fe with tons of room and tons of attention, and she's living a great life. But because of that, I keep pictures on my phone like many people, and sometimes I look at them just to, just because she was a member of my family and to think back. And I'm one of those people who anytime someone has a dog, oh, can I play with your dog? And it seems like, great, I'm a grown man, but can I play with your dog? Can I hang out with your cat?
Yeah,
What's funny
yeah.
is when I was writing the cat book to do research, I actually have some comedian friends, and I would go over to their houses and actually spend hours with their cats just to remind myself of the cat behaviors. I grew up with cats. We haven't had a cat in years, and to really make sure that everything was right on the money, I would just, play with the cats and watch all the behaviors and see the different cats. It's great to learn because when you do a book like this, you realize there's cats you've never really gotten to know, but you're like have you seen those, they're called naked cats, sphinx cats? Those,
yeah.
Aliens for some people. Those cats are so neat. Apparently
they crave warmth, man. They love to hug.
Yes, they're very personable, and they're smart, and they're just adorable. And I have a great picture in the book of those cats. And to some people, they're a little shocked, but then they just look so adorable. And there's a great picture in the book of a 5-week-old cat after her first bath, and the eyes on this cat, Arden, the eyes of anger and fury and just wait.
I guess she was a little hissed off.
Yes, big time.
Big time.
So cute.
Listeners, we're speaking with Jeremy Greenberg. He is the author of 2 pet books and other books, but the one that's out now that you can dash over and get is called Sorry I Pooped in Your Shoe. It's for all the dog lovers out there. But wait for it. Cats are patient. Sorry, I Barfed in Your Bed is coming out around Mother's Day for all the cat people. And Jeremy is kind enough that he's giving away 3 autographed copies of Sorry, I Pooped in Your Shoe for the listeners who email me, Arden, at fourleggedlife.com. We'll probably take the 100th, 200th, and 300th listener. Email me. I'm going to just clog my email box, but it's worth it because you're going to get a personalized autograph from this great guy. He's a family man. He's got 2 twins. That will really rock your mind, wouldn't that?
That would be a lot, yeah.
He's got a pair of twin boys. You've got 17 sons right now.
Yes, that's right. I actually, I spent so much time around animals, I just work the litters at this point.
Well, I bet your wife really loves that term. Great. Honey, let's expand our litter.
Yeah. My wife has had to suffer me for 16 years now. So, she knows. And in fact, I say that tongue in cheek, it's a good bond and a very good relationship. You got to have that when you're raising kids. You've got to have a united front because our kids try to divide and conquer like all kids do.
Well, I'm glad you're a family man. You have a sense of humor. We need that in this time and age. Is there some big things coming up that we can go over to the jeremygreenberg.com site and catch your act?
If you travel or throughout the United States, you can go on there. I've got a calendar, which I'll be updating very soon, that has all my performance dates. I like to let all listeners know, though, that while my books are PG, my nightclub act is not. And it's very fun, and it's smart, but I just want to let folks know that because my books are very clean, if you will, so I want to let the listeners know. But really, the big thing is the cat book comes out in March, and that's a lot of fun. And you can always look for my writing on MSN. I do a lot of work for Microsoft MSN, and there's a lot of stuff there about families. Actually, I have a piece coming out in 3 weeks about how to introduce your pet to your baby.
That's important.
How to acclimate a dog to, the arrival of a child. So just really go on Jeremy Greenberg. You can find me on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter. I don't tweet that much. I probably need to tweet more. I just don't.
Don't worry. Nobody's going to get mad at you.
Yeah, but honestly, the best way is go to my website. You can go on my mailing list. You can find me on Facebook. I'm pretty easy to reach, and the shows are a lot of fun. And the big thing is the cat book is going to be a riot. We got some amazing pictures. We are blessed by some amazing photographers, and even with all the cat humor there is on the internet and other cat books, the publisher really thinks that this one, might have something really original and fun to share with people. So I hope they find it.
Hey, maybe it'll have 9 lives. What do you think? You always want long shelf life, right?
Yes.
All right, I have a homework assignment for you. I have a cat that goes all over the country named Zeki, Zeki, and she has a Facebook fan page, Zeki the Cool Cat. And her backstory is some idiot had attacked her with a knife as a stray and took a big chunk out of her back. And she recovers, she waddles. She's the only cat in the entire Pet Tech Pet First Aid program. I'm the only one that brings a cat to class. And you can wrap her in a towel and check her femoral artery and brush her teeth. She'll do anything for deli turkey. So she would love it if you, Jeremy Greenberg, would go on her Zeki the Cool Cat page and just hit like. And
I'd be happy to.
She's really up on the rep for cats, and she's a Turkish van mix, a white and gray, and loves all dogs, loves all people, and should be the nastiest cat on the planet. And she's like you, whatever, what up, let's go. So she can be in a full crowd of people.
N-E-K-I?
Z-E-K-I.
Okay.
And Ziki the cool cat.
Cool.
And that means in Turkish, clever and courageous, because this cat, don't tell her, but I think she was a dog in another life.
Aren't Turkish vans the ones who will swim?
Yep. She's walked in on my shower, and I'm just glad she hasn't brought a camera, because I don't want her posting anything on her Facebook page to scare off everybody. Oh my God, look at that hairless person with pink skin.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely find her on Facebook. Sounds like a good cat to know.
All right, when your book comes out, she'll do a shout out for you too, because she's getting a fan base. So we'll Ziki's legion of fans will promote your book. Sorry, I barfed in your bed. Love it.
Yeah.
You can't show love any other way, right?
Well, the great thing is it actually started this big debate online about the nature of a cat saying, sorry, I barfed in your bed. Like, would a cat apologize? And not to give anything away, but the letter is, the only reason the cat's sorry is because now it has to get up and find a new place to sleep. So the cat's not sorry it barfed on your bed because it made your life tougher. The cat's sorry because it now has to get up and find a laundry basket to sleep in. So
there you go.
Those are just some of the details that the book pays attention to.
I'm glad to hear that. Well, we're speaking with Jeremy Greenberg. You got to catch his act. He's a stand-up comedian. He does a blog on MSN. It's called, let me make sure I got Your Guide to Imperfect Parenting. Just go to the MSN, the Family Room section, and you'll catch his blogs. He's really got a great insight into what it's like to be a parent these days. And now he's got the books out, Sorry, I Pooped in Your Shoe, and Sorry, I Barfed in Your Bed will coming out soon. Again, it'll be the 100th, 200th, and 300th listener to email arden@fourleggedlife.com, and Jeremy will send an autographed copy your way with your name and your dog's name. And wait till you see some of the names you're probably going to get, right, Jeremy? Mr. Peanut.
If I don't know a dog, I'm going to address it by its given name. But yes, unless you tell me your dog prefers to be called Doodlebug or something like that, but I'll address it to your dog, because I know your dog is going to read the book, and I want your dog to tell all the dog friends about it at the dog park. So I'm gonna be respectful of those names. But really, the book is a ton of fun. If you're a dog lover, essential. I don't want to say it's essential, but it's really a fun thing.
I think laughter is very powerful these days, and dogs and cats and people, we all have senses of humor, and you've tapped into all of them. So I thank you for being a guest on our show, Jeremy. Everybody dash over to jeremygreenberg.com and see where the heck he is in America. He is like the witty Waldo. You got to find him, and he's worth All right, at this time, I also want to thank my cool producer, Mark Winter. He makes this show happen each and every week. Why, he even let me know when I had a brain blip that the famous bulldog that surfs is Tillman. Thank you, Mark. See, I love you, man. You always help out. Until next time, everybody, this is your flea-free host, Arden Moore, delivering just 2 words to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there. Oh, behave.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do, and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. All Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.